My physics teacher, Miss Grant, made me retake a test because I disrupted the class by crying after my dad died. She said no exceptions and called me immature. A week later, I emailed the principal photos of her kissing the married school counselor in the parking lot. My dad died on a Tuesday morning, just dropped in our kitchen while making coffee. One second he was asking if I wanted eggs, the next my mom was screaming into 911 and I was on the floor in socks, staring at his mug tipped over by the sink. I missed the rest of that week. People sent the usual texts. Let me know if you need anything. Thinking of you, praying for your family. All those words that don't actually do anything. By Monday, I couldn't stand the house anymore. Every room felt like him. His jacket on the dining chair, his keys by the door, his half-finished Sudoku on the counter. So I went back to school because sitting through classes had to hurt less than sitting in his silence. First period was physics with Miss Grant. She was the kind of teacher who treated every worksheet like a military operation. Same pearl earrings every day, 4 colors on the board. Always saying things like the universe rewards discipline. That morning she was lecturing about vectors, or force diagrams. Then she launched into one of her speeches about integrity being the most important thing in life. After that, she passed out a unit test. I stared at the paper because my brain wasn't working. Question 1 might as well have been in Greek. Then, for no reason, I thought about my dad teaching me to drive, tapping the dashboard and telling me to breathe before every turn, and I broke. Not loud sobbing, just tears that wouldn't stop, the kind that shake your chest even when you're trying to hide them. Miss Grant stopped, looked straight at me and said, "If you can't control yourself, you need to leave. Right now you're disrupting everyone else." The room went silent. I could feel 28 people not looking at me, which somehow felt worse than staring. I grabbed my backpack, left the test on the desk, and walked out with my face burning. I cried in a bathroom stall for 20 minutes, then went home sick. The next afternoon, I got an email from Miss Grant. "Due to your disruption during yesterday's exam, you will need to retake the test after school on Thursday. No exceptions." I thought she had to be confused, so I wrote back explaining that my dad had died 6 days earlier, and I hadn't meant to interrupt anything. I thought maybe once she knew, she'd act human. She replied in 11 minutes. "Everyone has hardships. The mature thing is to rise above them. I expect you Thursday at 3:15. Please do not waste my time again." I read that line over and over, then showed my mom. She was buried in funeral plans, insurance calls, and trying not to collapse herself, so she just sighed and said, "Some teachers are strict, honey. Just take the test and be done with it." So Thursday, I stayed after school and sat alone in that freezing classroom while the janitor vacuumed the hall. Miss Grant handed me the exam without looking up and said, "You have 50 minutes. No sorry for your loss. No, are you okay?" Nothing. Halfway through, I looked up because I couldn't remember a formula and noticed a mug on her desk. White ceramic, blue letters, best counselor ever. It was strange because she wasn't a counselor. Mr. Russell was. The school counselor, always smiling too hard. Wedding ring visible from space. I didn't think much of it then. The next day, my ride was late, so I cut through the side parking lot near the baseball field. That's when I saw Miss Grant by her Honda, talking to Mr. Russell. At first it looked normal. Then he stepped closer, put a hand on her waist, and kissed her. Not a quick peck. Full-on kissing in broad daylight, next to row C, 2 spaces from the handicap sign. I was sitting in my mom's old Toyota waiting, so I lifted my phone and took 3 pictures through the windshield. My hands were shaking, the first was blurry,